Oh, first time. Well, thank you for welcoming us here to GDG. Um, this is my first time here, so if I'm, can be a little bit stiff, like my whole body can be like, hardened sometimes. But yeah, first of all, thank you so much. You know, it's great to having you guys here, and we are happy to start today's sections. My name is Adam. This is Nathan, and we're here to talk about Amica. Um, I've been building this always starting from October, and we really starting to progressively building up this app, starting about 3-4 months ago, and it all start from there. Yeah. So. Yeah. Oh.
Okay, today we'll be going over the problem and the context behind why we started the app, the solution that we came up with, and then some of the features, and we'll give you a quick demo. And then after that, we'll show you the kind of the behind the scenes, the technologies and architecture behind the app, and then we'll go over lessons we learned over the time that we were developing the app, and then kind of the process and the future roadmap for our app and project.
Okay, so a little bit, about my team a little bit. So that's me right there. I'm a computer science student at Concordia University, and Nathan is in software engineering. The other two people who could not make it here, unfortunately, is Marcelo, who is our team leader, and is Socha, both from Concordia as well. Yeah.
So the team came together because of GDG on campus at Concordia University. They had a project-based mentorship program, and we were all selected to be part of the 2024 to 2025 cohort. And kind of the theme behind the whole mentorship program was to enhance the Concordia student experience using Concordia's Open Data API. And then they also said we would get bonus points if we added AI ML integration. And then, like in the name, it's a project-based, but also it's a mentorship program. So our team mentor, Billy, over here, was our team mentor. And that's also one of the reasons we're presenting here today, is because of him.
Okay. Yeah, you can do it. Okay, and so first of all, what's Amica? When I first hear this name, I have no idea absolutely what this is, except for the three words it means ami, it means friends. And so it's an app that we came up with from that specific idea as a campus connections companion app. So we want to connect Amica, Concordia students, with study buddies, mentors, and promoting events and study spots around the campus, all in that one app as an applications. Um, but here's something that we actually struggling during the time that we're trying to build up. So it's difficult to find buddies. I mean, for example, I cannot even go straight up to someone like, hey, can you be my friend, or shake hands like that. No, I can't. Or there's another problem too, because of the limited resources or access to create connections, it also means that hey, I don't even have a lot of mentors around here. I don't know where to go, and I'm struggling, and that's another problem as well. And academic isolations and feeling disconnected, or in short, loneliness in any kind of way, is a very general feeling that every student, especially university, will always feel. And also right now, the existing tools, for example, like LinkedIn or Discord, kind of falling short a little bit. And it kind of showing the lack of centralized platform where we can all trying to connect in a very professional way or in a meaningful way as friendships and even guidance. Yep. And statistics showing that around, roughly around 51% to 71% of university students feeling, lonely. And it's not common, but at the same time, it's a rate that we kind of concern a little bit about the life after school. Our social life is, a little bit damaging because of it. I mean, I understand students have work, students have projects to do, and at the same time, we are already starting to, doing professional work like, building up a resume, looking for jobs, doing networking, and a lot more than that. It's tough, but it's real. And Amicae is there for that kind of missions to improve that part of the social life, to make everything better in any kind of way, from academic to social life to even like professional building up. And that is our missions right there, to empower students to build up meaningful academic connections that foster collaborations and success. And yeah, that's our solutions right there. We want to build great connections, not just connect. And then we want to make campus life much more easier. And I guess Nathan can talk more about the features and the demos.
Yeah. So as part of our solution, we have 4 main features that kind of address these problems and the student struggle that we're seeing around campus in ourselves and with our friends, our peers. So first, we have Swipe and Study, which is kind of like a Tinder-style connection type of thing, but it's mainly for students matching to students for academic purposes, and then also students matching with potential mentors to get mentored. And then Amicae Matchup AI is what we named our AI-powered suggestions, which analyzes a user's profile and then another user's profile that's being prompted. If the current user wants to connect with them, Amicae Matchup AI will show a little message saying why or why not this might be a good idea. It'll make more sense when we give the demo. Thirdly, we have Study Spots, which is like a map that helps students discover study-friendly locations around Montreal. So in the app, you can easily share the location with a new connection. So you can say, oh, let's meet up here, and send it directly to them through the app. And then same with events promotion. It's just a giant list of all the university upcoming events and opportunities, so you can send them to your new connections through the app and meet them in person.
And so now we will do a little bit demo. So it will run directly from our computer, and we will show it directly on here via through the phone. So yeah, just give it a second for that.
Please run.
Did you want to rerun again? Good success. Okay, good. Et voila.
Yes.
So this is our opening screen as soon as you open the app. So I'm just gonna go ahead, signing up like an account with Amicae. Let's say Flutter demo. How about that? Just for a demo. Okay. And enter the email. Gmail. Go, 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 go. Okay, and there we go. Process of signing up, really simple. Now I'm just gonna building up my profile. Very first step. Very proud of this part though. I made it. So yeah, I want to keep it like a simple style, just like that. Enter your name, enter your descriptions, what you want to say about yourself. It's pretty much like Tinder, but and here's the thing. Choose a friend, choose a mentor, your choice. For whatever you're looking for, whatever connections you're looking for. Choose a status, you're in college, just graduate, or you're working right now. Choose a school, within Concordia, but we want to expand that. And here, I love this one. I can choose up to 10 interests that I can show up to people. Anything, from animations, reality, writing, or even soccer, maybe. But after that, it's done. And this one, I think it's specifically only for Concordia right now, but we want to expand it later on. So here, you can choose the course that you can matching up with people based on that one too. So yeah, here just choosing the course that is available in Concordia, and you can only choose up to 5 courses at school. So yeah, and there there you go. You finish up signing up. There you go. Welcome to Amicae. And yep, that's the home screen right there. And as you can see that like here like it displays like like a simple like profile card, and you can scroll up and down, and up there right there is our Amicae Matchup AI, and it will suggest like like why you should match up with this person. Is there anything that in common with that person to match up with? Something like that. And just like that, keeps doing that all over again. And there we go. That's how the app main functionality works. And there you go. And after you swipe, everything will be in here. As soon as you type, and there will be like the messaging sections where you can start messaging to people. That's all it is. And here are the events. So all the events here for now, they are directly from the Concordia event, but later on like it will be expand more in some way, I hope. And this is one of the interesting one. Here we have like like bunch of like cafe spots or even study spots that we want to integrate, and we want to show up the map and show up like the locations where it is. And yeah, that's the whole main features right there. Relocate yourself, and here like I can start to like for example edit my profile. That's my profile card, and let's say I want to change the name. I want to change it into what do you want to call it? I don't know, Nathan or Billy. There you go. Don't get his name wrong.
I didn't, right?
There you go. Simple. And welcome to Amicae. That's the thing. And to continue like with that, Nathan is going to guide you through the technologies and the architectures behind Amicae.
Yeah. So behind the scenes of Amicae, we have Flutter, of course, because, well, Billy was our mentor and he recommended the language. And we're definitely really glad we used it because it was really easy to develop for Android and iOS in the same code base, which is one of the main points of, or main pros of using Flutter. And then for backend, we used Firebase because just to keep it consistent with the whole Google suite, we used Firebase for the user authentication, and then their real-time database for storing user profiles and decisions like swiping left or right. Vertex AI, which is part of Firebase, we used for the Amicae Matchup AI, and then we used Gemini 2.0 Flash as our model for the text generation. So here's kind of like a little flow chart diagram of how the features work. So first, when a user signs up, all their profile data, as you saw in the demo, all their data is stored in the real-time database. And then based on all those profiles in that database, we create a profile card widget with that profile data. And at the same time, the profile data gets sent to a Gemini prompt, and then a match insight, which is just a small message, as you saw from Gemini. We retrieve it and then display it at the top of the profile card on the main screen. And then once the user presses a button like or dislike on the main screen, that decision is saved in a separate node in the database for just swipes, and then for each user ID we have a subnode a word? I don't know, subnode of all their liked, and the list of all the people they liked, and then list of all the people they disliked. So then after that we can compare between a user that has a user's likes and the users in that node, and then in that user. Okay, this is really complicated. I mean, I'm not explaining this well. But yeah, we basically compare the swipes of two people to see if they're a match.
Basically, from what he said, like I'm just going to recap a little bit, just a little bit. It's works simple as this is like we don't really want to complicate the process of matching up, So for example, if I like you, and you like me back, we match. Problem solved. That's it. And if we don't, well, too bad. Next person, 随访.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So for the study spots finder, we got the user location using the location plugin, and then display the map using the FlutterMap package. And then for now, we just have a markers list, a markers data list, which is just a pretty big list of study spots that the Amicae dev team personally recommend. And then based on that, we generate a marker layer to put the little markers on the map. And then we can call the show place details method for when the user tap on a marker. And then it's pretty similar for the events promotion. We get the event data from the Concordia's API, convert it from JSON to a list of album objects so that the list view builder widget can create just a list of events. And then once we click an event, we call the method and we show the detail screen.
During this whole program, like I mentioned, there are plenty of challenges that we face. We have a very much major problem with the GitHub collaborations, and unfortunately, at first, not everybody of us know a lot how to deal with some certain GitHub issues, and it make it harder when people create their own branch, they trying to create their own tasks, and in the end we're trying to merge them all, and honestly, it's such a mess. And at the same time, we know that it's important for us to do the project as well, but at the same time we're trying to balance the work between schools as well, so it makes it harder, and kind of scope creep as well. But I guess one more major problem is that the front end and the Firebase data synchronizations is another problem. So trying to get, it's easy to say that getting the data right on the front end is easy, but it kind of a lot of process of creating objects, classes, and I guess there are many reasons I can tell you about more later. But then there is also the problem of we don't really much do projects documentations that quite a lot, which is another problem because we don't know how much we have progressed during this project so far, and it's make tough for us because of the communication line. For us, it's still something that we want to improve within the internal team as well. And
yeah, so here
yeah.
We have a list of basically what we learned over the 4 months that we were developing the app. First of all, the Flutter framework and the Dart language. 3 out of the 4 teammates on the dev team, for them, it was, including me, it was our first time using Flutter and coding in Dart. So there was definitely a small learning curve, a small bump to get over before we could actually start building the things and the features and the things we wanted to implement. We had to first learn Flutter and Dart. Secondly, the power of pub.dev. So when I first needed to do something like get the user's location for the map, I was like, how am I going to do this? But I just did a quick Google search, and the first link was a link to pub.dev, what it called a location package or something like that. And then it was pretty easy to implement and then get that to work just using the third-party package. And then the second time I needed to do something, I was to display HTML code for the events details because the Concordia API was returning HTML code, and I wanted to display that in the events details little pop-up. And then of course I found a package for that, which I was very surprised because I mean, me personally, I've never seen like one site with so many packages and plugins for everyone to use. It was very surprising. And then after that, I started exploring pub.dev, and I just saw so many packages. I'm like, that's so cool. I want to add this. I want to add this. But of course, we had to stay on track with the features that we wanted to make and not get distracted. Git and coding best practices, which we learned over time after all the mistakes we made, forgetting to Git fetch and then having to merge two branches that diverged. Like that was crazy, but thank you, Billy. He definitely
Thanks a
saved
lot.
us a few times after we made those mistakes. But now we know to always pull before working. Fourth, the iterative and parallel development. So just an overview of how a weekly basis kind of workflow went. We would meet up like once a week and then discuss the features we wanted to add or improve, or just as a group meeting, and then we would each individually pick one feature or two to work on over the week until the next meeting. And then every week we would kind of repeat the same thing. So that's what I mean by iterative development. We just keep improving and developing and the features and adding more just steps on a ladder. And then parallel, meaning we were each working on a separate feature at the same time. We weren't really both working on one feature at a time, because that's just what we found worked best with our school schedules and work schedules and stuff like that. And then intuitive UI and UX, it was my job at the end, near the end of the program, to kind of refactor the UI and then make everything look consistent and more aesthetic than it was before, because before it didn't look that good, so we definitely had to improve that
The prototype needs to be improved.
for the demo.
Honestly, like, at first few months, like starting from last year, October, we were just like, starting to create like a Discord channel, or even like starting creating the logo, or even like the team name, or even the project name. Thank God, like they didn't let me name the app though. It would be very much different. Because I personally I choose Bondify, which is like they totally against it with that. But anyway, that's our first 2 weeks was looking like that. The next one is starting to like we designed like the UI. So personally, like at first, like like it was like just like starting with like the low fidelity, a little bit sketch on the paper, or even sometimes like like I mean I try myself to do it on the my iPad. But eventually, like we try to do it in a more professional way. Like for example, like designing on Figma, just to know that like okay how the functionality works and everything. So yeah, it's all start with that. And the next one, please. Yeah. And then we're starting to like building up like our own prototype and the app flow, and like the we couldn't do it at first, but like because like everyone picking their own features, and later on we're trying to merge it all. So we need like like a guy who doing like like okay, for example, like a centralized like like page, just like what you're seeing right now, the font page that like allows navigations between sections and sections. And that's what we got with the prototype. And we know that like understand that okay, this is our flow, this is the user flow right now, this is what the user experiencing right now. And towards like the end of April, we starting to dig deeper into the some certain features to develop. For example, like with the events as well, like we have to fetch the API, and have to do a lot with the UI as well, like just like Nathan said, for the consistency of it. And at the end, very end, like we have to fix up like the UI for the car as well. Like as you can see right now, like it was just like like how can I say this? It was about 3-4 days before the actual demo at school, and it looks like that. And honestly, for me, like that was like I don't want to like look at some people up there, and then I see like the sessions down there, because I know it's just like well, it's just like okay, either I swipe left or swipe right, but I rather to read it up there, and we're starting to, like, to merge them all in as the one profile card, which is what we want. And yeah, the people with the messaging sessions as well. We really want to show that. And with all of that, towards April, I'm happy to announce that we have won the second place overall, and we also won for the best presentations and best UI UX overall and during the mentorship demo day. Thank you. Yep. And
So
yep, I'll let you do it.
So what's next for Amicae? Firstly, we plan on launching our app on iOS and Android this summer, just for Concordia students, because
Internal app.
yeah. And then after that, we want to expand to more universities in Montreal first, McGill, UDM, things like that, and then add. We want to add more features based on the user feedback we get from the Concordia students that start using our app. We want to add more features so they can be happy and they can keep using our app. Since we're using Flutter, we want to convert it to Amicae for web as well, since it will be the same code base, just some changes for UI, just so it works on the web. And then lastly, we have world domination. And basically what I mean by this is we want everyone in the world, in every city, in every country, and every single school to be using our app, because we really think a lot of people could benefit from connecting not just with people in their own city, in their own school, but even people in different cities in their country, or even different cities in other countries across the world. So don't be alarmed.
And with all this work, honestly, it wouldn't be working out without Billy. So personally, and on behalf of the team, we would like to thank you, Billy, for the guidance that we have, and all the knowledge that he has spread out to us. I mean, honestly, Billy, wonderful person, no words, absolutely cinema. There you go. Okay, yep, questions?